early 2016, I lost a parrot I'd had for 16 years. The grief was so strong that I would distract my mind by allowing myself to get absorbed into a book or a movie. Unfortunately, those things never lasted long enough to drown out my sadness. I had also just gone through moving, which just added stress to the situation. I have lost several family members in the past few years, so every loss, human or otherwise, always hits me hard. I so badly missed having a little shoulder buddy like I did with my bird, but I didn't want another bird, not to replace her or to remind me of her loss. I thought about getting a snake, since caring for some living creature might alleviate some of what I was feeling without so much of the similarity. So I toiled away researching what snake might be best for me. I even joined a local reptile club to find out if anyone could give me advice on them or knew of someone who bred those specific species. It wasn't until I started mentioning my research to a local pet store owner that I was given the idea about getting a bearded dragon. I even held one of her own beardies kept in the store and fell in love with the docile lizard. She runs her store by taking in new and used pet supplies and also many unwanted small animals and reptiles. So again, I read everything I could on my chosen species, took notes, and bought supplies little by little. I was going to wait until Christmas to finally get my own dragon. Keyword was. When I visited the same pet store weeks later to buy crickets for my turtles, my mother, who'd come with me, called me over to one bearded dragon in a tank toward the front of the store. He had tilted his head at her, and his golden-colored eyes actually reminded her of her husband and my late father. We got to take him out and give him a look over. He was beautiful, and not the normal coloration of most of the bearded dragons you'll see. He had bright orange scales and even some deep peach-colored patches near his cheeks. His story was that at 9 months old, someone decided they didn't want him anymore. They didn't have time. I'm not sure if he had been intended as a child's pet or where he even originated from. It didn't matter. I knew that he needed a home, and if I didn't take him, someone not so kind might. So I put a deposit down, collected the rest of the supplies, and brought him home a week later. Back then, he measured 14 inches. And since then, he has gained a lot of bulk, and he has attained length of 20 inches. I make it a point to take him for walks when the weather permits, let him free run my room for as much as half an hour, and even let him enjoy his favorite pastime of sitting in front of the window to watch the outdoors. He watches people walking by, birds, bugs, and wind in the leaves as if mesmerized by it all. He would sit there all day until nightfall and then fall asleep peacefully on the couch if I allowed him to. He's fallen asleep on me a few times, and now I know the signature beardy wiggle when he decides to bed down for the night, and then I whisk him away to his tank again. Over the year and a half that he's been with me, he's matured into a gorgeous male dragon. I named him Gimli after the Lord of the Rings dwarf warrior with the red beard. He still gives priceless head tilts to my mother, and I wonder if he knows that it was her that brought him to us that day. They say some people are chosen by their dogs. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if some people are chosen by lizards. Thankfully, Gimli was given a chance to find a good home by a very caring pet store owner, all too rare these days. So many beardies end up in the wrong hands and end up sooner or later unwanted. If you can, adopt one of these lovable lizards and give them a second chance at life. They deserve better. While they may not be perfect in color, age, or have missing toes or tails, a rescued dragon can still be a wonderful companion. Find a local reptile rescue in your area and adopt a dragon today.
What are you doing? This is the rabbit cage, Gimli. You're not supposed to be up here. Gimli. I don't think she wants you in there with her. Alright, let me get him, because I let him run loose, and now he's acting like a tree-dwelling lizard, rather than a bearded dragon. Let me get him out of here before she decides she doesn't care for his presence.